So I'm here at Warhammer Vermintide with
Daniel Platt.
So tell me, what is Vermintide? Tell everyone what Vermintide is and just give a quick little rundown.
Well, yeah, it's a first-person co-op game set in the Warhammer universe. And yeah, you work as a kind of group to accomplish certain missions to save the city of Ubersreich.
Okay. And the studio behind this is Fatshark, of course, and they've worked on games like War of the Roses and War of the Vikings. So what have you taken from those previous games and put into this?
Yeah, we think those have been great experiences in learning, and kind of especially the feel of the melee combat with the impact and how weapons treat each other, and kind of like a lot of the, surprisingly also a lot of the network stuff has been very useful for us.
Okay. So, I believe it's coming out on consoles. How does because I believe the melee combat in War of the Vikings and that lot uses mouse movement. How does that translate onto a console exactly?
Well, we kind of, the War of games kind of used more of a directional combat system. This is more of we've changed it more to like a timing-based system rather. So it's not so dependent on your mouse movements in that way. So it's more of a aim, and you can charge attacks, you can do lower attacks, but more of it's more of a combo-based system rather than a directional system, how it was in the War of the games.
So the Warhammer 40k universe is a lot more used than the Warhammer universe, although the fantasy universe is becoming a lot more popular. What made you choose the fantasy universe over, say, the 40k or something like that? Are you just big fans of it, or?
Yeah, at the office where a lot of people are really big fantasy fans, but we felt especially that because of it being less popular for games in general, like there's been less fantasy games coming out than 40k games, we felt like a lot of the fans would be more eager to play because of that. So.
And what sort of story is there that, if there is one, of course, that goes through the game? What's the sort of background of the story?
It's kind of this is set at the beginning of the End Times, which is part of the title, and that's kind of when the world starts to go to hell, and the Skaven take this opportunity, which is the Ratmen, take this opportunity to kind of take over the city of Ubersreich, and you play a kind of gang of people that don't really like each other very much, and they kind of have to cooperate to survive this.
Okay, is there any sort of, I think there's a class-based system or some sort, I think. Can you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, there's 5 different characters that have, that you can kind of adapt to how you want to play a little bit. So you can kind of, they have their areas of use, but they're quite wide. So I don't know, if you want to stick a shield on the dwarf, he's more of a tanky character. If you give him maybe a two-handed hammer, he's more of a direct damage guy. Or if you maybe give him a crossbow, he's more of a sniper. Or if you give him a blunderbuss, he might be more of a area of effect guy. So you can kind of adapt the characters a little bit. They have their usage areas, but you should always be able to find something or a way to play with them that you like.
All right. So co-op games, it's a co-op sort of combat game. So of course, I'm assuming you've played it a lot.
Yes.
So do you have any of your favorite moment from playing with other people? Because it creates quite a dynamic.
Well, I think in general, when everything starts to go really badly and you're under a lot of pressure, and especially when there's 1 or 2 characters alive and you have to kind of resurrect your friends, I think those, and especially when the enemies kind of work together a lot, when they I don't know, if you get a poison wind globe, which is this kind of gas attack, ends up coming down at the same time as maybe a rat ogre comes in, so he comes jumping out of the smoke, and you're kind of confused and chaotic, and everything seems to be very very, very, very bad. And I think in general, I really like it when you can also use kind of the Skaven against each other. That's a very Skaven thing. They don't really care about friendly fire, or they're very selfish characters. So you can use maybe a rattling gunner, which is a kind of machine gunner guy. And if you have a horde of Skaven in between you and him, he will just shoot them to get to you. So those are the kind of funny moments that kind of appear as you play. So it's very what do you call it? It's kind of randomized what you go up against and what happens in the level. So we try to make sure it's interesting every time you play.
Okay. When can we expect it, and on what platforms, I guess?
Comes out for PC on October the 23rd, and it will be released for consoles sometime in Q1 2016. We don't have a set date yet.
All right, so that's Warhammer, the End Times Vermintide.
Thank you.
Thank you.